UFC Vegas 106. How we doing, everybody? My name is Young Pasty, aka the White Boy Wonder, and I'm here today to give you a pick and a prediction for every single fight on the card. This card's okay. I'm not even gonna lie to you. This card's okay. I mean, you're coming off a lackluster pay-per-view, nevertheless, you know what I mean? But we don't stop. Okay? We make a pick and a prediction for every single fight every week. That's how we do it. And as always, I got to recap last week, UFC 315. Here are the results. 6-6 on the picks. You know, a couple of bad looks and one bad decision. Jose Aldo. I mean, come on. I really don't believe that he lost that fight. I thought he won the first 2 rounds handedly, but I didn't judge the fight. He didn't come out. It was in Canada. I had a slight feelings that Javi was going to edge this out somehow. So, Bilal Muhammad got worked. Same thing with Manon. Alexa Grasso couldn't, the Natalia Silva's distance management is just elite. But at some point, someone's going to expose her. You watch. Bruno Silva dang near died. Brad Katona got knocked the heck out. Mike Malott. Crazy knockout. Crowd went nuts. Navajo Sterling was so close to a knockout. So, it was a little entertaining, but nevertheless, kind of lackluster for a pay-per-view. So, 6-6 on the picks. Some, we have our ups and downs here with the picks. At least we didn't go negative, right? So, we'll take it to the chin. We'll move on to this week for UFC Vegas 106. If you're new to the channel, or if you haven't already, click that subscribe button, click the like button, throw a comment down there. The support goes a long way. Secondly, my Patreon is free. Links in the description. That's where you can get all of my bets when I place them. The bets videos come out on Wednesday, but I put my bets in before that, so you can see my bets before the video comes out. Again, it's free. Links in the description. Let's get to it. UFC Vegas 106. And we start with the main event. The most meaningful fight when it comes to rankings and such. Out of all the fights here, we have Gilbert Burns versus Michael Morales. Odds in the fight. Gilbert is a plus 575 underdog. Michael Morales is the minus 850 favorite. Some super wide odds. My pick for this fight is going to be Michael Morales. Give me the young cat here. He's going to make that 17-0 turn into 18-0. I mean, Gilbert is 38, almost 39 now. He just hasn't looked too good recently. Yes, now I know he's going up against much better competition than Michael Morales, right? Sean Brady, Jack Dellman, JDM, and then Bilal. And then wins before that coming up against some older vets in the UFC, right? Gilbert's, known for his grappling. Super good grappling, pretty good takedowns. Striking's meh. He's hittable. He's shown he's been chinny as of late. Getting older here at times. And yes, I know he's facing better competition, but I think it's almost safe to say he's getting washed at this point. Definitely past his prime, almost past his time. So, Michael Morales has the momentum, right? Riding obviously a 17-fight win streak, but he has some solid wins. He also beat Neil Magny. Jake Matheus is that shows if you beat Jake Matheus, he's pretty solid competition that, you're meant for the UFC. And then getting some wins here beforehand in the UFC. Max Griffin, Adam Fugit. So obviously Gilbert's his biggest step up in competition, right? But Morales has the advantage on the feet here. He has great striking, good jab, has the KO power. He's going to find the chin of Gilbert Burns. You watch, okay? Taller, younger, stronger. He's a guy that likes to keep distance. So you'll see him not kind of skirting around the octagon, right? But he does like to, he establishes distance with his jabs and his kicks, which helps him, avoid shots, avoid takedowns. It's going to be hard for Gilbert to be shooting on Michael Morales when he has so much distance to cover when he's shooting for a takedown. He might need to get him to a fence, which I do anticipate at some point, if he doesn't get knocked out prior to it, he's going to take Michael Morales down. I could see it. I could see Gilbert Burns taking Michael Morales down, but Morales knows what he's doing. He's a pretty good grappler himself. He's a pretty good get-up game. Decent sprawls and scrambles. Not the best, but he can get back up, right? He can work his way back up, step by step by step, right? Coaches in the background barking at him. He has pretty decent takedown defense. We've shown, especially in the Neil Magny fight, right? Didn't get him taken down, comes back up, brutal, nice KO. Has some flying knees that are crazy, and he has these sneaky quick. He has these sneaky quick kicks. You really don't even see him coming, or don't even really see him on the camera, but they keep stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. He'll chop at the legs pretty frequently. Yeah, this is a pretty, not a layup, but Michael Morales is going to put on here. All right, this is a good spot for him to present his abilities. I think the UFC is setting this up for him to win. I mean, minus 850 favorite is crazy. If Gilbert Burns gets up to a bigger number as the underdog, I mean, you might have to take a shot on him. So, yeah, I got Michael Morales. I got Michael Morales by KO. So, I'm sorry, Gilbert. I respect you. You're a good fighter, but, man, I think you just passed your time. Chinny. Michael Morales is going to find it. So, I think 13 years younger, too. 8-inch reach advantage for Michael Morales. I mean, you see the stats. Bigger, younger, faster, stronger. 86% of people on Tapology picking Michael Morales. Most say by KO, 68%. 31% by decision. 14% of people picking Gilbert Burns. They say either by decision, that's the majority, or by submission. Gilbert Burns submission? That'll be a wild call. Considering Gilbert Burns is plus 575, the submission number will probably look crazy. So, yeah, Michael Morales is my pick by KO. All right. The co-main event. We have Paul Craig, Bearju, versus Rodolfo Bellato, Trator. Odds in the fight. Paul Craig is a plus 380 underdog. Rodolfo Bellato sitting at minus 500. And some more wide odds. Crazy. You'll see it along this card here. My pick for the fight is going to be Rodolfo Bellato. Now, this is kind of a mimic of the first fight, but Rodolfo Bellato is much, I'd say, less of a hyped prospect than Michael Morales. Mike Morales is dang good. Right, Rodolfo Bellato, I mean, he has a lot of flaws in his game. He's fought much less competition in the UFC. His fighter IQ kind of lacks it sometimes. Sometimes he's unreliable in the octagon, right? And he's sloppy when it comes to things. So I say this with hesitancy because he's a minus 500 favorite. He is my pick for the fight because he's, again, much younger than Paul Craig, who's sitting at 37. So dang near, 8-9 year difference coming up. Paul Craig has shown here in the past, I think he's just past his prime and also past his time, right? Gilbert, I think, has a little bit left in him. Paul Craig, the Bo Nickel loss does not age well. The Kyle Barajo fight ages well. Brendan Allen, okay, solid. A win over Andre Muniz, not really something to brag about. And then getting KO'd by Johnny Walker. Honestly, ever since he lost to Ozdemir a while back, it's just been downhill since then. He had a run in the UFC. Paul Craig was looking good. And I like his jiu-jitsu. He likes to grapple. But he's just, his subs are live too. He's just super hittable, dude. Had bad momentum lately. He has nice high kicks and low kicks. He does have a lot more UFC experience. Moving down in weight just ruined him. It really did. This is his first fight here at 205 in 3 years. So we'll see if he can come back to form at 205. I don't know. But is his power gone? Is the power gone? I don't know. Like his shots. Rodolfo, he's very hittable. So Paul Craig dang near well could find the chin. And his Rodolfo's sloppy at the striking at some point, and yes, he has a decent chin. He can take some shots. But Paul Craig's able to take Rodolfo Bellato down. Rodolfo Bellato's not good on the back at all. He really can't get up. He really doesn't have an answer for it. I mean, he had a draw with Jimmy Crute. I mean, that's nothing to brag about or impress with. He's usually a quick finisher and he has some KO power. He has some strong shots, too. And if he gets you down to the ground, he could find a sub, too, okay? He can find finishes in both the ways there. Again, my pick was Rodolfo Bellato. My pick's going to be Rodolfo Bellato by KO. I don't think this is going to go 3 rounds. I think he's going to find the chin of Paul Craig. I think this is going to be another KO situation, maybe in the second round. Feel out Paul Craig. Avoid the wrestling. Get away from those exchanges. I don't trust Paul Craig here. Especially with the, moving to light heavyweight here. This is a light heavyweight fight, not a middleweight fight. So moving up 205. Is that going to suit him well? The weight cut's going to be easier, right? I think he's going to realize and recognize a different power from Rodolfo Bellato. So I think he finds the chin of Paul Craig at some point. Rodolfo Bellato by KO is my pick. What does Tapology have to say? 71% of people picking Rodolfo Bellato. Wow. 88% of those people say by KO. 29% of people picking Paul Craig. Most say by submission. Yes, that's live too. I told you he has tricky, crafty jiu-jitsu. Okay? He really is good with that. So if Bellato's caught slipping, you never know. You never know. He could clinch up and grab him. It's just usually those jiu-jitsu guys are not the best at getting good takedowns, right? How good is he off the back, and how good is Rodolfo Bellato at avoiding submissions like that? You know what I mean? Because I really don't see Paul Craig getting Rodolfo Bellato down, in my opinion. So, again, Rodolfo Bellato by KO is my pick. And we move on to the next fight. Featured fight on the main card. Pretty excited for this one, actually. This is one of the good ones that we've found here throughout the card. Sodiq Yusuff, a.k.a. Super, versus Mairon Santos, the legend. Odds in the fight currently sit at plus 114 for Sodiq Yusuff and minus 135 for Mairon Santos. My pick for this fight is going to be Sodiq Yusuff. Give me the underdog here. I think people are sleeping on him and counting him out due to his last losses here, but if we want to go over them, and we will, let's look at him. A knockout to Diego Lopez. Are we going to give him a brief for that? No. A decision loss to Edson Barbosa, which he put up a dang good fight. And honestly, in the first round, another ref in there probably could have called that fight because he was beating the crap out of Barbosa. That ref really I don't even remember who the ref was, but he really let that fight go on. Gave Barbosa a chance. But he went 5 rounds. It was solid. The decision ultimately went Barbosa's way, but he put up a good fight. And then a loss to Arnold Allen, which again, he's putting up good fights and going the distance with great competition in this division. He was previously ranked. And he's going up against Mairon Santos here, who's an Ultimate Fighter guy, who got his come up against Con Ofley here. My apologies, Tapology ain't just showing it right off the bat. But let's all be honest, this fight against Francis Marshall 2 months ago, he lost that fight, okay? And then he wants to come out on the mic after and said he handedly won that fight. I disagree, bro. And I picked Mairon Santos, and I bet on Mairon Santos to win that fight. And I still think that he lost. People are sleeping on Sodiq Yusuff based off of recency, guys. These 2 losses here to elite competition, Edson Barbosa and Diego Lopez, are they not going to smoke Mairon Santos and Arnold Allen? I know that was 4 years ago here, but still elite competition. And yes, Sodiq Yusuff is a little inactive, right? But my boy's powerful. He has pretty good striking, has pretty good cardio, fading late in other, in the later rounds, but still the cardio's still there. Honestly, When it comes to cardio, I think these guys both kind of fade in the later rounds because they do a lot of output in the first two. He is hittable. Okay, Sodiq Yusuff is pretty hittable, and he does, have trouble with people that keep distance well. And Mairon Santos is pretty good at that. I'm not gonna lie, but he's never seen power like Sodiq Yusuff. He's never seen pressure like Sodiq Yusuff. The wrestling and grappling advantage goes to Sodiq Yusuff. Honestly, the odds are going to flip here, guys. The odds are going to flip. Sodiq Yusuff it's going to be a pick'em, or he's going to be a slight favorite when it comes to fight time here. Mairon Santos lost this fight to Francis Marshall. Got taken down with ease, was hit with big shots, right? And I'm not here to poop on Mairon Santos. I think he's a good fighter and a good prospect, right? Has a pretty good jab, right? Pretty good striking, long and lanky for the division. Decent cardio. Means that, his striking's not extraordinary, but he uses a lot of hand movements and feints, which will throw some people off, but not Sodiq Yusuff. Sodiq Yusuff's been there, done that, seen it all, right? So, the chin of Sodiq Yusuff's decent. Santos has some flashy knockouts in the past, but they're against lower level competition. And I think Sodiq Yusuff's going to get back on track here. Stop the young and up and coming prospect. I think it's going to be a big reality check for Mairon Santos. Boy, will I look stupid if I get this pick wrong. But I like Mairon Santos. I think he's a good fighter. I think this is just not a good matchup for him. Sodiq Yusuff with the power, the grappling, the pressure, stuff that Santos hasn't seen before at this level. Okay? So we got Sodiq Yusuff, and I got Sodiq Yusuff by KO. Okay? Ground and pound. On the feet, I think he finds the shot, dude. Maybe gets Santos up against the cage on the octagon, because it's going to be a smaller octagon here, right? Starts going at him. He mixes in body shots, too, pretty nice. Can throw him down on the ground, get some nice elbows in. He does get some nasty elbows in. Sodiq Yusuff hits hard, especially in the first round, guys. So, yeah, I got Sodiq Yusuff, and I got him by KO. All right. Tapology. 73% of people on Tapology pick Sodiq Yusuff to win. Most say by decision, 85% of them. 13% by KO. I'm in that little slight group there. 27% of people are picking Mairon Santos. 70% by decision. 28% by KO. Yeah, he could KO Sodiq Yusuff. In the sense, I think he could get like a nasty head kick against Sodiq Yusuff. I think that's his best shot at a KO. Mairon Santos training at Extreme Couture too. Pretty good gym. So, Sodiq Yusuff's my underdog pick for the feature fight of the night, and we move on. We got Nursulton Ruziboev versus Dustin Stoltzfus. Current odds on the fight, we have minus 298 for Nursulton and plus 240 for Stoltzfus. Excuse me. My pick for this fight is going to be Ruziboev. Give me Black. That's his nickname. Give me Nursulton Black Ruziboev. Dustin Stoltzfus puts on entertaining fights. He does. Almost in the sense of like a Michael Chandler-esque, right? He is very hittable. He's chinny. He has a pretty bad get-up game. His wins are not very good in the UFC. His losses are all by finish, mostly in the UFC. Like, if people are winning against him and they're putting him away. So his run in the UFC has been honestly lackluster. He's usually on the back foot, getting pressured in fights. He has good counters. He can mix in the grappling. But he's just outmatched here against Ruziboev, dude. Ruziboev's stronger. He has a crap ton of experience, guys. 35-9. And is he younger than him? And he's younger than Dustin Stoltzfus. So, Ruziboev been there, done that. He's been in the octagon plenty of times. He's a first-round killer. He's tall. He's strong. He is a finisher. And how does Dustin lose? By finish. Nursulton has KO and sub abilities, so he can do it in either fashion. Has great fence work. He has really nice dirty boxing and elbows. Again, he'll be pressuring Dustin Stoltzfus. He has this little bouncy kind of movement. Good knees. Good combos. Has a really good 1-2. Nice kicks. He can get takedowns if he chooses to. But on the flip side, he can also get taken down. Right? But he has the ability to get back up. We saw it in the Joaquin Buckley fight. Right? He got up a few times. And, I mean, Dustin Stoltzfus' path to victory here, if he has a chance, without getting KO or subbed, which is going to happen, is to, like, wrestle fuck him. I mean, get on Nursulton Ruziboev. Make it gritty and dirty. Take him down. Get top control. Don't go in a brawling fight because Ruziboev will mess you up. Okay? But let's be honest. Is Dustin Stoltzfus going to come in with that game plan and do that to Ruziboev for 3 rounds? No. He doesn't have the ability to do that. Like, he's not on the Joaquin Buckley level. You know what I mean? And Ruziboev was in there and lasted 3 rounds, even though he got the crap beat out of him in the 3rd round. He still lasted in there and put up a pretty dang good fight. Okay? Against an elite guy. So Buckley's, top tier now. You know what I mean? So I give him a lot of credit for that loss. Comes back and messes up Eric Meconico. KO's Cedric Dumas. KO's Bruno Ferreira. I mean, he's getting finishes in the UFC against pretty good guys. Not Eric Meconico, but Bruno Ferreira, Dumas, Joaquin Buckley, solid fight. As I'm saying, his UFC run's pretty dang good up to this point. So I got Ruziboev by finish. I don't see this going 3 rounds. And look at the little streakiness of Dustin Stoltzfus. This has been happening for a while. Win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. What's next? A loss. Ruziboev by KO. What does Tapology have to say? Oh my gosh. 94% of people picking Ruziboev. Most say by KO. 87% of people say by KO. 6% of people picking Dustin Stoltzfus. And most say by submission. They're going to... Really? Stoltzfus submitting Ruziboev? I don't see it. Will be a crazy call. Would love to see the odds on that. They're pretty juicy, but probably would be pretty juicy. But yeah, Ruziboev by KO is my prediction. And we move on to the next fight. Pretty decent fight, guys, right? We have Julian Erosa, Juicy J versus Melquizael Costa. Melquizael. Odds on the fight, plus 150 for Juicy J, minus 180 for Costa. My pick for the fight is going to be Melquizael Costa. This was kind of hard to fall upon, but I think Costa has the edge here. Julian Erosa does have tons of experience, but so does Costa, right? They're both pretty experienced, right? Erosa's a tad bit older, 7 years older, right? So Costa has, kind of the youth to his advantage. But Erosa's a sneaky, crafty vet, man. He has subs that you don't see coming, and he pulls out of nowhere, right? People always count him out. He's frequently the underdog, and you see it here again. And I, personally, me, I've counted, not always, but I've counted him out too, right? And look, he's pulled off 3 in a row, 3 wins in a row here. Now, I mean, Darren Elkins, C-Rod, not too bad. Ricardo Ramos, so one solid win, the other 2 okay, right? But he's hittable, dude. Juicy J's hittable. He is chinny, and I respect Costa's activeness, dog. This dude's fighting a lot. 1 month ago, 2 months ago, 10 months ago. I mean, this dude's fighting every 3-4 months, so I respect how active he is. I think he's the better kickboxer, so if it stays on the feet, I think Erosa's going to get pieced up there. I think he has solid takedown defense. He may get taken down at some point, but I think he does have the ability to get back up. I think that Julian Erosa... And, Costa's not a dummy on the ground, right? I think he can avoid the subs, but it's always live. The Juicy J sub is always live, so the number probably won't be good on it because the books know, you know what I mean? The sports books know that Julian Erosa is a sub guy, so I don't think the number's going to be too good, but I'm going to go with the younger fighter, man. I think he's going to be able to keep the distance. He has good kicks. He's pretty good, and wow, he's pretty good at managing distance, right? He does that pretty well. That's what I was trying to say. And we've seen it, man. He can do that and pick you apart and get good shots in. He has powerful shots, dude. He can knock your lights out. Costa can. But on the flip side, if he gets taken down, he can also get bodied on the ground. Maybe that's Erosa's game plan, right? Erosa will be a little bit taller and longer, I believe. Yep, 6'1", 3.5-inch reach advantage. Training out at Extreme Couture, a good gym. Costa beating C-Rod, Andre Feely, Shailin, Nardenbecki. I mean, everyone, Steve Garcia lost. Are we going to give him fret for that? No. Austin Lingo, not really something to brag about. My dudes from Brazil, I love my Brazilians. Chute Box, I have been kind of pooping on them lately, but they have been impressing me. They pulled out some wins here recently, so I don't know. Maybe I might change my mind about that gym there. At least Chute Box Diego Lima. But I got Costa, and I got him by decision. The odds are moving down. He was a minus 220. He's currently minus 180 at the time of recording this video. So, Costa by decision is my pick. Julian Rosa's tough. I don't think he's going to... I think Costa may get some knockdowns, right? Hit him with a few good shots, but I think Erosa's going to get down there. You know what I mean? Like, hold him on the ground. He has good jiu-jitsu. He's going to look for a sub immediately right there, and then hoping Costa maybe... I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Costa by decision is my pick. Tapology. 81% of people on Tapology picking Melquizael Costa. Most say by decision. Few say by submission. 19% of people picking Julian Erosa. And 30% of people picking by sub. 44% of people picking by decision. I think Julian Erosa is a good fighter. Right? I think Costa just has the slight edge on him. When it comes to keeping the distance, leg kicks, power, youth, cardio. If it gets to the ground, Costa has the ability to get back up, scramble and sprawl. I don't see Erosa getting a sub on Costa. I don't. I mean, it's always live. The Juicy J sub is always live, so I'll just leave it at that. But Costa is my official pick. We move on to the next fight. We have Matheus Camilo, a.k.a. Jaguar, versus Gabe Green. Gabe Gifted Green. Odds in the fight currently sitting minus 218 for Matheus Camilo and plus 180 for Gabe Green. My pick for this fight is going to be Matheus Camilo. I tried to pick Gabe Green, but I couldn't. There are too many ifs, unknowns, and red flags for me to pick Gabe Green in this situation. Even though this is Matheus Camilo's UFC debut, right? And he didn't come off of a Dana White Contender Series. He just got signed here, right? So, I like Matheus Camilo. He's the younger guy. 6, 7, 8 years younger than Gabe Green. Gabe Green is moving down in weight, okay? He's over here fighting Brian Battle, Ian Gary. Now he's going to be fighting at 155 here, so he's gonna have to cut all this weight. So I don't think that's gonna, bid well from him. Last fight was 2 years ago, and he got brutally KO'd by Brian Battle. I mean, he's decent, right? He was in the UFC for a reason. He can throw, right? He does have some power shots. He has okay boxing, decent cardio, right? He will be for pressuring, okay, but sometimes it's dumb and reckless, right? He's just moving forward without a purpose and getting hit and getting clipped, right? He does land shots, right? But he's like a, not a give one, take one. He's like a give one, take 8, dude. Like, I think Matheus Camilo is going to piece him up on the feet if it gets there. He's much more powerful than Gabe Green, in my opinion, at this weight class here. Matheus Camilo has good counters, right? So if Gabe Green's coming first, I think Matheus Camilo can hit him with a nice little left hook. He has a great left hook. I like Camilo's left hook. He has an okay jab. He throws little nice combos here together. So mixes in body shots, right? Body shot, uppercut. He hits to the face, things like that. He mixes in nice little combos, right? And he's a pretty good grappler, dude, right? He's scrappy and young, and I like this guy. And his first fight in the UFC, he's going to come in hot, dude. He's probably going to look for the finish, honestly. And Gabe Green is probably going to get finished. The odds are just going to get wider in this situation. Minus 218. He was at like a minus 180. Minus 175 he was. You know I love my Brazilians. Right? And these last two fights went to decision, but dang, they were good. Dang, he looked good. He beat the crap out of people. Sometimes these refs give some people a lot more time than they should. Like the knockout should have been there, but like people are getting hit so hard they get knocked in and out of consciousness, right? So I mean, Gabe Green is just kind of a little sloppy on the feet. Yes, he has more UFC experience and he has a decent gym that he's there. He's just, his UFC run has not been too hot. I think he gets another loss here. The weight cut's probably not going to do him well. Matheus Camilo can take either approach. I think he has the fighter IQ too to recognize what he should do in that situation. So I'm going to take the UFC debuting Matheus Camilo to get the win. Ooh. Submission? Submission may be sneaky here. But Gabe Green's tough, dude. Brian Battle found the shot. Went to decision with Ian Gary. Went to decision with D-Rod, who was piecing him the crap up. Matheus by decision. That's my official pick. What does Tapology have to say? 86% of people picking Matheus Camilo. Most say by decision. 14% of people picking Gabe Green. Also, most say by decision. So I think Matheus Camilo's got this. I think it's going to be a good UFC debut for him. Give me the young cat. Moving on. Haha. It's a dang good fight here, guys. Gonna have to take a little sip of coffee to wake me up. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. One of the few on the card. So we have Jared Flash Gordon versus Thiago Moises. Odds in the fight currently minus 108 for Jared Gordon and minus 112 for Thiago. They need to update this picture for Jared Gordon. I don't even know if that's him. All his hair's gone. Anyway, my pick for the fight is going to be Thiago Moises. This is going to be a tough 3-round gritty fight, man. I'm excited for this. Jared Gordon always puts on a good show. He's tough. He's gritty. He's always moving forward. He's got robbed in the past in a couple of fights. I'm not going to mention names. Patty, even though I love Patty. Has a good chin. He's a take one, give one guy. Yes, and truly a take one, give one guy. He can wrestle too. He can mix in wrestling, take people down, has pretty good fence work. He'll be constantly pressuring throughout the fights. But he is shown, he is so sus to kicks, dude. In all his fights, man, people are kicking him everywhere. And he just has no answer for it and gets beat up in all facets. Honestly, I think Thiago Moises, he has some flashy kicks, dude. I think he finds a kick to the head and knocks out Jared Gordon. I think it's Thiago Moises by knockout, dude. Thiago Moises only loses to elite competition, right? Look at these. Ludovic Klein, Benoit Saint-Denis. In the past, and we'll pull his fighter profile up here. Right? Joel Alvarez, Islam, Damir Ismagulov, right? Come on now. These are elite people in the UFC. In his wins, Trey Ogden, Mitch Ramirez, Costa, Giagos, Alexander Hernandez, Bobby Green, Michael Johnson. He has some solid wins in the UFC, and he's shown, right? He only loses to the best. It's going to be a tough fight, but I think Thiago Moises is going to get this done. Late, second, third round KO by Thiago Moises. Head kick. That's my prediction, dude. I like the movement in Thiago Moises. He's definitely going to be on the back foot. So, I mean, obviously, some people can take advantage of that. Like Izzy style, you know what I mean? But he can't stand and brawl with Jared Gordon. That Jared Gordon's going to beat him in that kind of in the situation there. He can't get overwhelmed or bullied. Jared Gordon can find success in that. And Jared Gordon's not a quitter. He will keep going and going and going and going, and sometimes recklessly. Sometimes what I fear here, right, is Thiago Moises is really good at keeping the distance, right, with those leg kicks that he has, and throwing out that jab and here and there, right. He skirts around the octagon, uses wrestling and kicks to keep that distance, has pretty good fence work, right. But Jared Gordon, he's pretty good at closing distance, but sometimes he just walks in, you know what I mean, and recklessly too. You can hit him on the way in, you know what I mean, but he's gonna come in hard, and he'll give you one, like a take one, give one guy, So is Thiago Moises not going to get himself overwhelmed or let Jared Gordon bully him? Because if he keeps closing that distance, I think Jared Gordon's better, right? I think, in the pocket, right? If he's striking in the pocket there, Thiago Moises, you got to hop out, right? And we've seen that if Thiago Moises comes in focused in these fights, he puts on, right? He has good takedowns in wrestling and good grappling. I think he can take Jared Gordon down. I think he can. I think he can find success there with good ground and pound. He has pretty nasty elbows, too, in the ground and pound. It's just, he really needs to, number one, check his kicks. My gosh. Jared Gordon can probably find success in that, too. He's, known for chopping up legs. So Thiago Moises, check your kicks, come in focused, and don't get overwhelmed. Those are my 3 key factors here. Use your leg kicks to your advantage to all levels, right? Body ones are nasty. You can chop up the leg of Jared Gordon because he's going to leave it out there and keep moving forward with you. Find the freaking headshot with your foot. It's going to happen. He has these flashy kicks. One of them's going to land, dude. I just see it. Front kick to the face. High kick to the side of the head. I got Thiago Moises by knockout, man. That's my pick. Fun fight I see here. So... Dang, training out of good gyms too. ATT and Fighting Nerds on Thiago Moises' side. Killcliff for Jared Gordon. So, what does Tapology have to say? 70% of people picking Thiago Moises. Most say by decision. Some say by sub. Few say by KO. 30% of people picking Jared Gordon. 88% of people by decision. Yes, I could see the fight going distance, but I'm telling you, dude, Thiago Moises is going to find that head kick, and if he lands it good enough and it hits in the right spot, dude, Jared Gordon's going to be out. So, it's just a matter of will it knock Jared Gordon out, because he's dang tough and he's gritty. He's got a good chin. So, that's my pick for the fight. Thiago Moises, KO. We move on. Next fight on the card. We have Luana Santos versus Tainara Lisboa, the Thai Panther. Odds on the fight here: minus 130 for Luana and plus 110 for Tainara. My pick for this fight is going to be Luana Santos. I think that she has solid judo, good enough grappling and wrestling to take down Tainara and hold her there. We've seen Tainara, and she's susceptible to getting taken down and bodied, right? People have bodied her in rounds in the past. Now she's won the majority of other rounds to get decisions. Found a submission, right? But I think Luana Santos, she has a little more UFC experience. Gotten some pretty good wins. Against Miller, knocked her out. Stephanie Egger. Mayra Akapova. Put up a tough fight against Casey O'Neill, who's pretty dang good. Ultimately ended up losing that, but again, I love my Brazilians here, but man, she has some sick trips and takedowns, dude. I mean, if it comes to a straight striking battle, I think Tainara has the edge there, right? She has a nice 1-2. She is hittable at times, but man, that 1-2 is nice. She has pretty solid power. When she hits and lands, it pops and you hear it, right? Jiu-jitsu background, so she's not going to actually, be opposed to getting taken down. Luana Santos will gas late. So I'm hoping that she's worked on her cardio and worked on that, and proved that she can go all 3 rounds. Because I do think this goes to decision. I think Luana Santos is going to take this by decision. I think we're going to see a lot of grappling exchanges. I think we're going to see a lot of wrestling. I think we're going to see a lot of fence work. I think this is going to be a very technical kind of grappling with few striking, because Luana Santos is not going to want to strike with Liboza. Yes, she has solid striking. She's knocked people out in the fast, but she does not have the advantage here, in my opinion. She throws nice kicks and knees in the clinch. I will give her that. She has a solid Muay Thai. Tainara can and will try to get up, but ultimately accepts positions at some point on the bottom and tries to get her jiu-jitsu going, which Luana Santos can avoid all the subs and those kind of threats, and I think she can, kind of just hold her on the ground, not have to worry about that. On the flip side, Santos can get taken down herself. Will Liboza find the takedowns on Santos? Now, she's not doing it Santos style, getting trips and judo style, you know what I mean? She kind of does it in other ways. And when she's on top, and both of these girls kind of do it, they're not really working the ground and pound. They're looking for subs on top. They're not working the ground and pound too much, which I think they could find success throwing elbows in, throwing shots in, like meaningful ones, but they don't. Lisboa, long layoff, year and 6 months. Luana Santos staying active. I gotta side with Santos, man. She has the wrestling advantage. Lisboa gets taken down in all her fights. I think Santos holds her down for lots of the fights, gets the better of the grappling exchanges, holds her on the fence. Muay Thai clinches. Lisboa will have moments. Hit Santos here and there, but it won't be enough. Santos by decision. Tapology, 78% of people picking Luana Santos, most say by decision. 22% of people picking Tainara Lisboa, most say by decision. Yeah, I think this fight goes all 3 rounds. Literally, height and reach are dang near the same. Both Brazilian girls, actually. Luana Santos also 9 years younger than Lisboa, so something to think about there too. But it's not like Lisboa is some aging woman out there. She looks pretty good and young, so I'll give her that. But Luana Santos is the pick, and we move on to the next one. All right, we have Connor Matheus, the controller, versus Yadier DelValle, the Cuban problem. Odds on the fight: plus 350 for Connor Matheus and minus 455 for Yadier. My pick for the fight is going to be Yadier DelValle. Connor Matheus is not very good. I don't think he's UFC caliber at all. He's super chinny. He does have solid footwork, nice kicks, pretty okay cardio. If he ever gets on top for some reason, he has okay ground control at some points, but he gets taken down too much. He's sus to takedowns. He leaves himself exposed in striking situations. He doesn't really have that knockout power, right? Yeah, he'll have a huge reach advantage. I don't understand. Yeah, see, I was looking on other sites that said Yadier had a 60-inch reach. I was like, what the heck? I think this is more accurate here. So we'll throw that out the window. I thought Yadier had T-Rex arms, but he doesn't. Because I saw him in the Dana White Contender Series fight where he put on and dang, threw some heavy shots. This dude's powerful. He's strong. He has really good grappling and control. He can find the back quick. All right, this dude can find the back quick on people. So the sub and the KO is live. He's also hittable in exchanges, but he has a pretty solid chin, and we've seen Connor Matheus just take it and get messed up, dude. Training at 2 different gyms, so, getting jiu-jitsu and striking everywhere from pretty solid people. Getting some solid experience and coaching from people. It's his UFC debut, coming from Dana White Contender Series. A lot on the line here. He wants to impress and put on for the first fight. He's nice in the clinch, mixes in body shots and his combos. Most of his shots are they're like lots of hooks and lots of overhands. He's not really throwing out jabs or, straight shots. 1-2. He 1-2s. That's not really his game. He's throwing in hooks, body shots, overhands, things like that. Connor Matheus may be able to move out of the way at some point, but Yadier's going to corner him, dude. Piece him up, take the back. Submission or KO, I don't know. And Cuba's had a bad rep, especially Rebellis to Spain. Come on now, that was such a letdown in the UFC. My dude let everybody down there. But we've seen Yadier wrestle. It's proven. Has good takedown defense. Can take down himself. Undefeated. Yadier is a solid pick. Connor Matheus, fade this guy at all costs, dude. This is not his fight. I don't know anybody that's on Connor Matheus, and I don't think anybody will be. So, Yadier DelValle's my pick. I say by KO. What does Tapology have to say? 95% of people picking Yadier. Most say by decision. 36% by KO. 5% of people picking Connor Matheus, and most say by decision. You 5% of people are crazy. I don't know why you are picking Connor Matheus. Yadier is my pick. And we move on. All right. Next fight. We have Denise Gomes, D, versus Elise Reed. Current odds in the fight, minus 550 for Denise Gomes and plus 410 for Elise Reed. My pick for this fight is going to be Denise Gomes. Elise Reed can't beat anybody good at all. Her record shows it. We're doing the win-loss thing. She's due for a loss. Look at her losses here. Lupita Gomez, Loma Lukbumi, right? So she's losing to good people and winning against Melissa Martinez, meh. Jinyu Frey, meh. Jessica Penne, meh. She was super old at that time, too. And Elise Reed was a super favorite. But Denise Gomes pulling out some good wins in the UFC, man. Carolina, Eduarda, Yasmin, Bruna Brazil. Tough fight with Angela Hill. I think the odds are justified. Minus 550 for Denise. She's much younger. Look at her, 7 years younger. Has better UFC experience, in my opinion, than Elise. She's tough. She's powerful. She's a better striker. Her subs are live, too. Don't count the subs out. She's just aggressive. She's like a little pit bull, man. She's coming at you, dude. She has good kicks. I mean, she could get taken down, but because we've seen other people take her down, but man, let's be honest. Elise Reed's not gonna take down Denise Gomes. Okay, good fence work from Denise. Good cardio. Her boxing is much better than Elise. Good in the clinch. Man, if Elise Reed pulls off this upset, it would be crazy. I'm just not picking her, dude. Denise Gomes is ranked. Elise Reed gets taken down easy. She's super hittable. She's older. I mean, she's okay, right? She's in the UFCs for a reason. But, this step up in the competition again, you're going to lose. You're just outmatched everywhere in all aspects of MMA versus Denise Gomes, unfortunately. So, I got Denise Gomes. That's my pick for the fight. How does it end? You know what, Elise? You're tough. So, Denise Gomes by decision is my pick. Tapology. Oh my, oh my. 95% of people picking Denise Gomes. Most say by decision. Some say by KO. 5% of people picking Elise Reed. So, I think Denise Gomes should get this done with ease. So, we move on to the next fight. This is a pretty solid fight that we're getting in the early prelims here. We have Hyun Park, aka Peace of Mind, versus Carlos Hernandez. Odds on the fight, minus 148 now for Hyun Park, and plus 124 for Carlos Hernandez. So we see some money coming in on Carlos. But my pick for the fight is going to be Peace of Mind, Hyun Park. First off, just want to get this out there. What's with the UFC pairing up Asian guys with Carlos Hernandez? Specifically, look at all his fights. Niam Jargle, Tumen Barrel, Ray Tessiora, Tatsuro Taira. Prior to that, not him. But like the 4 fights in a row, he's going up against someone from Asia. But anyway, I don't know if that's something to do with it. He's fighting a lot of road to UFC guys. Hyun Park's a road to UFC guy. And I had faith in Carlos Hernandez at one point, but my faith in him has just slipped and gone. He had a split decision with Niam Jargle, but he got caught with some bombs, dude. If there was some time left on the clock, he could have, things could have ended. And again, I usually don't back road to the UFC guys. They just have not shown they're really UFC caliber now. Some, few. Quang Lee kind of getting there, right? Some other ones here in the recent past, but Hyun Park, dude, low hands, super hittable. He's been knocked down in all fights. Everyone finds a shot. to get him knocked down in fights, but he can get back up, right? Lights aren't knocked out. He can get back up. He can also get takedown and control, and he is less raw. He's raw. He has less UFC experience. He's undefeated at 9-0. I mean, the undefeateds haven't been doing good in 2025, let's be honest. So it's like, man, I'm just listing things off here, like why I shouldn't pick Park, but honestly, it's just Carlos Hernandez is a test, okay? Can you pass the test, Hyun Sung Park? If you can beat Carlos Hernandez, I would say you're UFC caliber, right? If you're not UFC caliber, Carlos Hernandez is probably going to beat you. I mean, he's solid, right? But, the shots he throws, he doesn't have KO power, right? When he hits you, it's not going to really hurt too much. No offense, right? He has a good chin. He has heart. He has pretty solid fence work. He has okay grappling. But he can get taken down with ease, dog. And Hyun Sung Park has a niche for finding the back pretty quick. So he's a pretty good grappler. He can find that back pretty quick. He's usually on the pressuring end. He's going to be pressuring Carlos Hernandez. Hyun Sung has power shots, dude. Power that Carlos Hernandez doesn't like to see. So get him uncomfortable, hit him with some powerful shots. Yeah, he leaves himself exposed, but he loves a brawl. Carlos Hernandez probably ain't, he ain't good in a brawl, right? Subs are live on Park's side. I could find a club and sub easily happening. But he just finds ways to win, right? Even in suspect spots, he pulls himself out. I just think he gets the job done here. Honestly, before I even predicted this fight, I looked at the odds. I thought he was going to be an underdog. He's actually the favorite here. Odds are coming down. Money's coming in on Carlos Hernandez. Park, can you pass the UFC's test? Carlos Hernandez, I mean, his UFC experience, yes, he has a lot more UFC experience, but he's not getting notable wins. He's just kind of sliding by. He's getting split decision wins over people. He's not stamping rounds to go, yes, I won this fight in this round. Like, he's not a finisher. Hyun Sung Park is finishing people. So, give me Park. What does Tapology have to say? Oh, Park by submission. What does Tapology have to say? 89% of people picking Hyun Sung Park. Most say it's a split between KO and decision. 11% of people picking Carlos Hernandez, the underdog. So, nice, solid fight on the early prelims, and we move on. This is the first fight of the night, and the last one I'll be breaking down for y'all. We have Luana Pinheiro versus Tisha Pennington, the Tiny Tornado. Odds in the fight currently minus 395 for Tisha and plus 310 for Luana. My pick for this fight is going to be the Tiny Tornado. Give me Tisha Pennington. I gotta back my Colorado girl. Training at Elevation. Has good cardio. She's tough and gritty. Married to the other Pennington, who, you're married to one of the best fighters in the world, right? You're getting good looks. You're training with her every day. You get all her insight and knowledge. She's going to be coaching you in the corner there. But I don't think these odds are justified, guys. Minus 395 for Tisha? Luana Pinheiro was good until, she wasn't. They stepped her up in competition and she got wrecked. Amanda Ribas knocked her out. Angela Hill submitted her. Julian Robertson beat her up for 3 rounds. So, she was on a good run until she wasn't. She was beating solid people. Sam Hughes, Michelle Waterson-Gomez. She puts up a good fight. I really don't think these odds are justified here, right? But I think Tisha will get it done. I think she'll find a way to win. I think she's gritty and she's a tough little girl. I think she'll be the bully. These guys are both small guys. These girls are both small, both in their 30s here. I don't mind the age on Tisha's side. Tisha has a lot more UFC experience. She just have decent striking, throws kicks in here and there, has nice little side kicks. She's better when she's kind of dancing around the octagon versus moving forward. She does kind of get hit when she's kind of pressuring. You know what I mean? She does better when she strikes, exits. Nice little blitzes and combos when she does that. She's a scrappy little dog. So, I gotta back Tisha, but Luana Pinheiro sub is live. Luana Pinheiro has nice hands, decent grappling. But her cardio fades in the later rounds, and I think Tisha will expose that. She gets taken down super easy. I don't know. Tisha's going to use that, right? She's not really known to hold people down on the ground. That's not, not what she usually does, to be honest with you. Luana's just, honestly, the last few fights, she's had really bad body language in the octagon. It's hard for me to back someone that really doesn't look like they want to be in there. Honestly, yes, she's solid, right? She throws big strikes, but she can get hit with big strikes because she leaves herself exposed. There's just a lot of kind of mini little flaws in her game. She's good. Luana's good, right? She had a little nice run. But as of late, honestly, that body language is telling, man. Something's telling me. Unless she magically comes out here with a new light and focus and is on one, she could win this fight because she's tough. She has decent striking. People count her out a lot. Honestly, plus 310, too much. Too big of an underdog. Might be worth a little sprinkle, but Tisha Pennington by decision is my pick. What do the people on Tapology have to say? 86% of people picking Tisha Pennington. My gosh, everyone says by decision. 14% of people picking Luana, and they say by decision as well. So, okay, little card, the card's okay. You know what I mean? It's an Apex card. Let's just leave it at that. But if you've made it this far, thank you so much. We are done with the predictions and picks video. Appreciate your support. Click that subscribe button. Click the like button. Throw a comment down below. Support goes a long way. Again, Patreon's free. Links in the description. That's where you can see all my bets before the bet video comes out on Wednesday. It's free, so why not sign up and see it? Because the odds always sway in the opposite way, especially come fight time. If you have your bet locked in at good odds, you'll be happy about it. So, again, let's have a good week. A little bounce back week from last week, 6-6. We can do better than that. So, Young Pasty, out.